Hey everybody, this is Jeff. Megan is joining me again. So this is a special treat because I just got back from Gen Con recently and Megan's about to go on a trip. And so this is our 1 week together and we're spending it with you guys.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, wow. Sell it, baby. And so why are we spending it with you guys? Well, we love you, of course. But beyond that, we got a nice little game that we wanted to show you. It's called Havok
and Hijinks.
Havok and Hijinks from Epic Slant Press. It is on Kickstarter right now, and I had recently interviewed Adam on the Game of Crowdfunding episode, and I got a chance to sit down with him at Gen Con and talk to him a bit, and he gave me a demo copy to bring home. Megan and I decided to play it a few times, and this is meant to kind of be a casual game, so I thought it would be a good idea to bring Megan in to give her feedback on what she thought of the game as a casual gamer. Although, I don't know, you're getting in quite a few games lately. I don't know, you might have to step up your title. So Havok and Hijinks, what are we looking at? 2 to 4 player game. Strictly card game, and the basic premise behind it is you are a young dragon that is being kicked out of your house. You've been relying on your parents far too long, and you've been eyeing their hoard a little too closely. They're not happy about it. All the parents got together and said, you know what, it's time for these guys to go out on their own, get their own hoards. So they basically give you one measly treasure, shoot you out the door, and now you and all these other baby dragons that have been trying to live off of your parents and just be lazy and haven't been paying attention in dragon school and all that good stuff are now out in the real world and have to make your own way and make your own hoard. So of all the baby dragons, you're trying to be the least slacker of them all and be the first one to collect 15 treasures for your hoard. Where you're looking about 10 to 20 minutes tops for this game. Plays really quick, really easy. We're going to show you some gameplay, show you a couple of the cards, and then we're going to give you our final thoughts. Stay tuned. Okay, so before we show you how to play the game, thought we'd show you some of the cards that come with it first. Our top row up here are the dragons that each player can select. So each dragon has some special abilities to it. We'll show you one here. This guy, once that focuses, is the Pearl Dragon. And as you can see down here, it has a play ability and a crash ability. So it kind of acts like a card of its own, a Hijinks card of its own that we'll talk about here. You can use this ability on your turn or on another player's turn. But once you use it, you will end up having to flip your dragon over, and your dragon is now tired. And there's a special way on the back to make it so that your dragon is ready again. So you can use your special ability, but you have to make sure you understand that it's not just going to flip on its own. You'll have to do something. So in this particular instance, if you successfully defend against a Hijinks or nullify an event, you get to flip your dragon back over to ready. It's worth pointing out that even if you flip it back over to ready right away on the same turn, you cannot use it again right away. This is a once per turn kind of deal, just like most cards are. So each player will pick a dragon that they want to represent them, and then we have 2 decks. We've got your Hijinks deck and your Havok deck. Your Havok deck is going to, at the start of basically every player's turn, they're going to be flipping cards over. This is where you're going to get your treasures out of, but there's also going to be events. This particular first one that we pulled here is not good. It is technically a treasure. We can get that to focus in there. But that is it's a treasure. It's a noble, but it's -3 to whoever's grabbed it. So that's bad. In comparison, you might flip an event. So if you flip an event, you have to read it, and whoever it affects, that will happen. So in this instance, the wealthy benefactors is the event that got flipped, and you will flip 2 cards from the Havok deck, add any treasure to your hoard, or place all event cards at the bottom of the Havok deck. So you'll do all that. So you'll flip basically 2 more cards. If your treasures, great, you get to put them in your hoard. If they're not, the events will go to the bottom of the deck. So things like this will happen. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them will affect just your dragon, some of them will affect all dragons. So that is your Havok deck. And again, at every start of your turn, a player is going to flip one of those. Now your Hijinks cards are the cards you're actually going to have like in your hand that you'll be able to play. So you'll have 3 of them in your hand at any given time, and they have various abilities as well. So some of them, let's see, let me grab one that's not a play. Here we go. So let's say I had these 3 in my hand. Some of them are play abilities. Those can only be played on your turn. You can also see there's an icon up here that kind of lets you know that this is a play ability, versus this guy here is a crash ability. The crash, which has a different icon up top, is basically going to be kind of used to defend against some stuff that your opponents are going to be doing. So it'll be situational. You'll want to read it. This one says defend a treasure worth 2 or less from being stolen. So if another dragon is trying to steal a treasure from you and its value is 2 or less, you can say, no, I'm going to defend against it with this. Now you're going to see all the cards have a little something on the bottom here as well. Now that's the affinity. So each dragon has a special symbol, and it's its affinity. So it's where it's most powerful, you could say. So in this instance, if I had that pearl dragon and this card in my hand, I would get the additional affinity. In this case, I could use this card, instead of being 2 or less, it could be worth 3 or less that I get to defend. On the opposite side, this play ability has like the fire affinity, so I would not get that if I was the pearl. I would only be able to use the top. So every card can be used by every dragon. How powerful that card is depends on if it has the affinity or not, or it can be more situational, I guess you could say. So on your turn, you'll do the Havok card, see if you get a treasure or not. You'll decide if you want to play some hijinks on your fellow dragons, and then you'll always draw back up to 3, and you might be playing out some crash cards to defend your hoard. And that's basically the cards of the game. So now we're going to show you some gameplay. Alright, so now we're ready to start the game. So what we've got is each player has 3 hijinks cards that they start with. We've each selected a dragon that we're going to be. I've gone with the amber dragon this time.
I'm the ruby dragon.
And each of us basically starts off with a small treasure that's already in our hoard. If you're playing with less than 4 players, the dragons that aren't selected are basically out of the game, so we'll get rid of those. Alright, so just to give you a taste here, my amber dragon, its abilities are select a treasure in your hoard and trade it to the treasure, or trade it for a treasure with an opponent dragon. The treasures must have a value within 3 of each other, or its crash ability is an opponent dragon engaging in hijinks cannot use the bonus effect. If it is tired, if I've used my ability, the only way I get to get it back is if I initiate and successfully trade treasures with another dragon, flip your dragon back to ready. So there will be hijinks cards later in the game that I could still do a trade with that could potentially get this readied again. So probably not one of the easier ones to get back over, but we'll see how it goes. And what do you got, Megan?
I have the ruby dragon. Playability is I can steal a treasure worth 3 or less from an opponent dragon. The crash is if an opponent dragon just flipped a treasure card, I may have them place it at the bottom of the Havok deck instead. And then to wake the dragon up, I have to successfully steal from an opponent dragon's horde. Then I can flip it back to ready.
So that one's pretty not too bad to get back over. All right, so we've got our Havok deck and our Hijinks deck. There'll be discard for Hijinks on this side. On this side will be past events, so as things get played, they'll be here. And then there'll be a trash heap when treasures get broken. We're going to play, basically you play until somebody has scored 15 points in treasure. And it ends immediately if any of your opponents cannot stop that 15 from happening. So Megan, you want to start us off?
Sure. I got a treasure card.
All right. So she got a treasure card, the Silver Talons. Since she flipped it, she automatically gets to put it in her horde. And now she gets to decide if she wants to play a Hijinks card.
I will pass this turn.
All right. She's not doing Hijinks. Since she did not do Hijinks, one of the things she could do if she wanted to is she could discard one card for a new Hijinks card if she decided she wanted to do that.
No,
Since
thanks.
she did not play anything, but she wants to keep her cards. All right, so then we come to me. Horde. Oh, treasure. Platinum Talons. It's a 4. So I'm at 5. Now you're supposed to make sure, just for space reasons, we kind of stack, and you're supposed to spread out your treasures a bit. But just as long as you can tell what they are and any keywords they have, you should be fine. So I am at 5, she's at 3, and do I want to play Hijinks? I don't want to do that. Okay, I am going to play Stash or Trash. I do not have the affinity, so I don't get the bonus, but I am playing it to steal a treasure worth 2 or less from an opponent. So I'm going to try to steal her Silver Talons. She's got a crash card. So defend a treasure worth 2 or less from being stolen. So I was not successful. You immediately draw back up to 3. She's going to draw back up to 3 because she did play a trash card, or a crash card. And now it goes back to Megan.
I have an event. Until the end of my next turn, I may play any Hijinks card as if my dragon matched its affinity.
Nice. So basically she's got affinity until the end of her next turn. So she gets to use all the special abilities for any of the cards that she has if she wants to.
Then I will not play.
You're not going to play?
Nope.
Alright. And since you want to discard anything for a different card? Alright.
Good.
I have an event. Twix the Magnificent. Until the start of my next turn, each dragon becomes the affinity of the dragon to their left. So I have the affinity of the Ruby Dragon now. So for my play, I'm going to try to steal a treasure again. Since this has the Ruby affinity, the fire affinity, it could be a treasure worth 3 or less, but she's only got a 2 or less, so but she's defending against it again.
And then I draw up until 4.
And now you draw, yeah.
Okay. My turn.
Yeah. Yeah, treasure.
Yay.
I don't want you to have treasure. Oh, it's a 5 for you too.
I have 15. Over 15.
Yeah, I can't stop it.
I won.
You're gonna get it anyway. Yeah, the next one was a 6 though.
Oh,
I didn't think about that. Well, I got steals and breaks, but all right. So there you go. She hit her 15, getting a nice treasure at the end there, with her affinity symbol on it. So it was 5 for her instead of 3, and that is Havok and Hijinks. So there you go, Havok and Hijinks. Great, quick little card game. Initial impressions, I really like it. It plays really quick, really fast. There's not like huge, deep strategy in it. It is a casual game. It is a gateway game, a light filler game. Nothing wrong with that. I've said it before. I like those type of games, and especially those are really nice things to break out when you've got people that don't play games a lot. There's some there's some randomness to it, but again, for a quick filler type game, that's fine. And again, the 15 to 20 minutes, I can handle that. There is some strategy involved in it, though. I mean, you got to look at your dragons. You got to look at when to use their abilities. You got to look at, am I going to use this ability, and then can I get my dragon flipped back over to use it later? And then again, this is all within 15-20 minutes. So you got cards in your hand. Do you want to use them now? Do you want to hold on to them? Do you want to hope that you get the extra affinity later from some of the event cards that kind of come up? So a lot of little things going on. It's not strictly a flip and play. Not like, say, like Flux would be, where, flip one up, play one. You don't really have a lot of option on that kind of stuff. You've got 3 cards to choose from. Your plays and your crashes play a little bit different, and it can be played at different times. But you have the option and the choice there. And at the end of the day, this was a fun little game that we enjoyed playing, and we've played multiple times in a row. So what do you think? Sadie,
our
not
dog
so much.
Sadie
doesn't like
it.
Yes.
I really enjoy this game, not only because it's very quick and it's somewhat simple, but there's enough strategy to it that keeps you engaged in the game. I really enjoy that I win. No, I'm just kidding.
Not always.
Yeah, I know. No, I really like the concept of it. The theme is really cute. The artwork's great. I like the fact that we learned it very quickly and could play multiple games fast. And then I think it's a great intro game to people who aren't used to these type of card playing event type games. I especially think it'd be good for kids, an intro game for kids. So overall, I really enjoyed it.
Did the cute dragons win you over?
Absolutely.
Cute dragons are pretty
always win me over.
Yeah, and again, what we showed you, just to point out, this is a prototype. It is on Kickstarter right now. I can't remember when it ends. I think it's got something like 30-some days left right now. I mean, it's still got, and it's already funded too, which is awesome. It's already funded. I think it's already hit. I think it's hit its first stretch goal at least, probably a little bit more. Doing really good, and it's definitely something worth checking out. The price point is really good for it, and again, it's a quick, casual card game. I'd definitely give it a look if I were you. Anything else you want to say about it before we wrap up?
No, I agree.
All right. We will include the Kickstarter link in the description and at the end of the video. Thanks for checking this out. Again, Havok and Hijinks on Kickstarter. Dogs are telling you. Havok and Hijinks on Kickstarter right now. Definitely check it out. I've already backed it, so we'll be getting our copy.
Yay!
And check it out and back it yourself. Thanks. Talk to you soon.